Howdy, y'all. Welcome to the Free Georgia podcast. My name is Jake Green. Thank y'all so much for tuning in today. Let me get myself a little bit closer to this mic. There we go. Got a good one for you today. But before we get started, head on over to lpgeorgia.com if you've got any questions about the Libertarian Party, whether it be in Georgia or your own state. If you want to find your own state, go to lp.org. That's the national site. And if you go over to lpgeorgia.com, you can see all the things we're doing around the state to spread freedom and liberty. And you can get involved in a bunch of different ways. Sign up for the Liberty Watch. I say this every single time. Sign up for the Dadgum Liberty Watch. It is an in-depth look at what is being passed through the legislature in Georgia during their sessions. Brian Allen puts that together, and I mean, it's so incredibly informative, and it'll allow you to know what's coming down the pike, and find the things that you're passionate about to either fight for, fight against, and so forth. So go sign up for that email newsletter. You can also take the world's smallest political quiz to see where you fall on the political spectrum. And then every now and then we'll have events that show up here. You can also go to the events tab. We have range days and happy hours and all sorts of stuff. So go check that out. All right. Well, y'all, today we have the chair of the Libertarian Party of Georgia, Mr. Gerred Bell. He's going to join us to kind of recap the convention and that just happened. Well, I guess technically last month now. Recap the convention and talk about LP Georgia's plans for the next year. So let's get to it. All right, Gerred Bell, welcome to the Free Georgia podcast. How you doing, man?
Doing good. It's a pleasure to be on with you, man.
Heck yeah. Dude, we've been fighting for liberty here in Georgia together for 5 years now. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, that is wild, man. Was it 2020 for you?
It was 2020 for me, yeah.
Man, yeah.
It was the very beginning of 2020 for me and Nick and you and Zane, I think, as well. It's crazy, the crew that came on board during that year.
Yeah, and now look at us. Here we are.
Got the chair of the LP of LP Georgia sitting here. That's pretty great. It's been an interesting 5 years. Like, a lot of crazy stuff has happened. You and I were both really got involved through the Mises Caucus and through all of their promotions, and like Dave Smith and all that kind of stuff, trying to take the party back and get us on the right course. And I think overall we've done a pretty good job. Overall, I think there's a lot of stuff that we can be proud of. I'm getting really like reminiscent. I'm currently moving out of my house. So like I spent the whole day packing. I'm just getting slightly emotional about the whole move.
Don't shed a tear for us, man. We don't want to see it.
It's been brutal being here and packing up. I don't like it at all. So sorry to get.
It's okay, man. We will miss you in Georgia. We know we'll miss you a lot.
Oh man, yeah, I'm gonna miss y'all, and hopefully at some point we can find a replacement for me. But until that day comes, I'll keep on doing the Free Georgia podcast. So I'll stick around as the host for a while.
Love it, man. Yeah. Well, we appreciate it for sure.
Well, dude, I watched you work this past convention, which happened just a little less than a month ago, right? It was beginning of March. Yeah.
Yeah.
And man, gotta say, like, from the first convention that you were chair to this one, you absolutely murdered it this year. Like, I thought you killed it up there. I thought you ran the whole room. We had a substantial amount of people there compared to normal.
Yeah, 90. I think we had 90 to 95 people there, which is a really good showing.
Yeah, that's a very good showing for convention, when it's just one day of business. It's not like we're doing anything else that weekend, really.
Yeah, people really just wanted to get in there for bylaws and platform and Robert's rules, man. That's really what I live for. So,
Yeah.
honestly, that's what I'm here in the party for is for Robert's rules. So,
Uh-huh.
I think everybody else is starting to catch on that it's a really fun time, you know, coming in with procedure and everything.
You know, it I actually there's so many people that complain about going to convention, complain when they're there and like whine about the process. And I actually find some of it pretty fun. And like I don't understand. I mean, I guess I do kind of understand. I don't I don't care for like leaving early or just like waiting for the moment when you can leave. And like we're there to help further the party and help further liberty. And I like people who are like in the headspace of I'm going to be here till the job's done, and
Yeah.
that's exactly how you were during convention, which I thought was great.
Well, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, it is fun. And I think it's important too. Like the knowing procedure, knowing what's going on is really helpful for moving things along. You know, you don't want to be the one guy in the group that doesn't know what's going on, but is asking questions and speaking up in front of 90 other people. Knowing what's going on, being able to push things in the right direction
Mm.
is really important. And I think like you said, for the business of the party, being there for the whole time and being ready to stay for the whole day. You know, we plan for, hey, this is business. We're here for however long it takes. If we're here till midnight, so be it, right? But
Yeah.
we care about the party. We care about where it's going. So whatever it takes, I think
Yeah.
everybody should show up and be there the whole time.
100%, man. It's one day. If you show up and you're just already itching to leave, I think you're not approaching it in the correct way. Like it's one
Yeah.
day of your life. Just spend it there, even if some of it's excruciating or boring, or you just think some of the things people do are ridiculous. Like everyone thinks that at one point in time,
Yeah.
and you're going to get a little drama, and it's going to be fun and very boring at times. It's just like a wave up and down. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I enjoy conventions. Like I like going to national, and yeah, I like going to the state conventions. I'm interested to see how Montana, because I think it's much smaller of a
Interesting.
party up in Montana. So I'm interested to see how that works
Yeah.
up there. Yeah.
A lot fewer people up there too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
A lot more spread out.
A lot more spread out.
Yeah.
I don't know what the square miles are of Montana compared to Georgia, but it's a substantial difference with far fewer people up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting shift. But convention. So, like, what were some of the things you were looking forward to? Some of the things you wanted to get done at convention, and yeah, we'll start there.
Yeah, I think the biggest things that happen in our convention every year are the platform and bylaws. Surprisingly, this year, I think both of those platform and bylaws had a lot of consensus,
Yeah,
which was really kind of exciting. You know, some of this stuff was stuff that I had been pushing for 3-4 years, like a 367-day seasoning requirement, which basically means you have to be a member of the party for 367 days
yeah,
before you can even vote in a convention as a delegate without having to be voted in, basically the requirement having to be waived by 2/3 of the convention body. So that for me was a really important one. I think there were actually two conventions where I wasn't eligible to be a delegate because the conventions were set up. One was like in March and then the next one was in January. So
yep,
for me, that was like, hey, let's fix something that, okay, you shouldn't have to be a member of the party for 2 years to be a delegate, to be an actual voting member of the party when you're doing business on the floor. So we got that down to 180 days. I thought that was really good. I think it's a fair compromise. And I think a lot of people felt that way. It was very, very much across the board. Everybody was for it, except for a few people who were, kind of feeling a way about it. But hey, that is how it goes sometimes.
but yeah, I mean,
But it was good.
Yeah, 100%, man. Like the idea that you needed to already be a member of the of LP Georgia prior to a convention and then wait until the next convention in order to have any say so in what happens is insane. Like
Yeah.
six months like of working your butt off for the Libertarian Party is a long time. Like,
Yes.
like there's like it's a long game. Like things take a lot longer than 6 months, but 6 months toiling away at what we do behind the scenes,
Yeah.
it's exhausting. And like anybody who does that and then shows up to convention to want to keep improving the party, like they should be
deserve a vote.
rewarded by being able to vote. Like
Absolutely.
yeah, it's crazy that that was 367 days. That's nuts.
Yeah, for sure. I would say another thing that really got me excited about this one was the chairman's report. And I told everybody that I was talking to about it. This is my chance that I get to brag on everybody and all the work that they've done, the fantastic stuff that they're doing.
Mhm.
And it was really cool, like looking back at what's happened just over the past year with Defend the Guard, the legislation getting to the floor, getting to a committee. That's a
Mhm.
big deal. Getting a hearing. These are good things. These are exciting things. Um, I think our capital gains bill got put out one more time, but we've got to see what happens with it one more time.
Mhm.
We'll see next year what we can do to make it push forward a little bit more. Membership calls were a really big deal. I think we made 300 calls to just people who had lapsed to
Mhm.
remind them, hey, we exist and we want to work together with you, right? So there
Yeah.
was just a ton of stuff that that I was able to say, hey, look at what these people are doing. Look at what Elizabeth is doing with Banished Big Brother. Look at what Zach has done with that, and all the crew down in Savannah, Gwinnett, Forsyth County. So yeah, I think that was one of my favorite parts. Was just like, hey guys, look, we're moving along, and look at what people are doing. And I think that's just one of my favorite parts about this.
Dude, yeah, that was great. And I love how many things are happening by people just taking initiative and starting, like just being passionate about something and starting a project, working on that. Like, yeah, Elizabeth and Zach starting the Banished Big Brother podcast, starting the website, doing training, like making people way more aware of how much the government is spying on you and manipulating you and watching you at all times is like, I think the rise of technology just allowed them to do it way quicker without anybody noticing. And
Yeah,
like people finally pointing it out, and we're making real headway. Like James Dutton has been working extremely hard to get these speeding cameras out of Georgia, and it looks like it's going to happen,
yeah,
which is wild. You wouldn't think that that Georgia Congress would get on board with getting speeding cameras that are making money for the state out of the state. That's pretty wild.
hey, I'll take whatever I can get, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the key on a lot of this is competing government agencies and pitting them against each other. So when the state isn't getting the money and they want it, you get to use that against the counties.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, why don't I get a cut of this? But hopefully they just outlaw it and they don't try and get something for the state. But
Hopefully. Yeah. And
yeah,
the Defend the Guard one too, as well. Like I testified for it in Montana, was prepped to testify for it in Georgia, but then it,
just
I
went
guess
through,
it,
right?
yeah, just went through committee and I didn't do it. So that was interesting. Um,
Yeah,
that's a massively huge bill. And like, I love that Gretchen's working so hard on that, along with a few other people, Mark Douglas. They're killing it with that. And I think that that's something that people also just don't know about, like that the Georgia National Guard. I mean, we've watched, what was it, two members of the Georgia National Guard get killed in the last 2 years for being places they shouldn't have been. And so
yeah,
like Gretchen and Mark and everybody involved in that are working their tails off so that that doesn't happen anymore, which I think is extremely admirable. And yeah, it's just another way that we're spreading our Libertarian Party values, which I think is wonderful.
yeah,
Yeah, so for me, the most surprising thing was something you already mentioned, which was most people got along.
Yeah.
And generally speaking, there's a lot of internal conflict in the Libertarian Party, but I mean, everyone was civil. Everyone seemed to like actually interact with each other. No one seemed to throw a tantrum. There wasn't any drama, and most things passed without any problems, which was unique.
Yeah, I think that is a really unique thing, and it really, when there is consensus, it makes your job as chair a lot easier too.
Yeah.
When there's not people being upset about a decision that got made, when people aren't consistently calling for division, even when they know that, like, hey, you got voted down on that one, like you should probably let that one go. And there wasn't a lot of that. There were some that were pretty close, that some calls that I had to make where it was kind of like, I don't know where to go on this one, but I'm going to say the ayes have it or the nays have it.
Right.
And, one or two times when it was super close and I probably should have done a counted vote anyway, somebody called for division. So it was kind of like, okay, this is good. Like, we're all kind of agreeing that this is close. It's not like one person said nay and we're going to divide the house to see how many votes there were. So that was good. I think there was a lot of cooperation. I think, we would call different groups opposition in the party. And I think even with opposition groups going against each other, quote unquote, there was still a lot of, hey, we agree on this. Hey, let's just go ahead and do this. This is a good compromise. And I think, especially to the platform committee's credit, there was a lot of discussion beforehand, before they even came to the floor. And there was a lot of conversation that they had. And it was it was from across the spectrum within that committee. And they talked about the different issues and how people would feel about different sides of things. And so they came with broad consensus platform planks, which I thought was really, really good. And I want to, really give them credit. That was Christine Austin. And she was kind of leading that charge.
Yeah. I thought it was great. Yeah. It was the first time that I think in the libertarian world, we generally agree on about 95% of things.
Right.
And this was the first convention I've ever been to where it was that. Like,
right.
It's never been that percentage before at any convention I've been to. But this, like, everyone agreed on like 95% of what was proposed. And I thought that was wonderful.
Yeah, I think that really goes to pushing our values forward. And when you're not fighting each other, you have the opportunity to fight the state, right? You have the opportunity to fight for liberty instead of fighting each other. It's always a lot easier to fight your own internal enemies, right? Because you know them, and because they're right across the way, and you've seen their tweets or whatever, you've seen their Facebook posts. But like, it's a whole different thing to battle this gargantuan state. That, where do you even start, right? Where do you even start with our National Guard being sent overseas into conflicts that we shouldn't be in? We never should have been in the first place. Those things are daunting, but it's a lot easier to fight within yourselves because, okay, I can deal with that. So it's good. It's good to see, okay, let's find the consensus here so that we can start really focusing on the big issues, the things that we can take little bites out of with government overreach, government power, and remove that power from the state and reserve it to the people.
Heck yeah. 100%, man. I think one of the reasons people do end up internally fighting more often is because it's something they have far more control over, and it's not as daunting of a task. Whereas, fighting the two giant parties and then the uniparty of the government is extremely difficult, daunting, feels impossible, takes its toll on you after a while. So I think, the fact that didn't happen this convention was just made me feel like everybody was like really geared towards fighting the state rather than fighting each other, and like in the right headspace for once. And like, yeah, it felt really good. I loved it. So, Yeah. Is there anything we can be looking forward to over the next year? Like what are some of the goals of the party for the next year before next convention?
Yeah, so we're planning on doing an executive committee goal setting session, which is going to be a lot of the similar stuff. But we've had a ton of interest in our director positions, so be on the lookout for outreach. Be on the lookout for youth engagement, getting involved with one of these committees where you can be on a committee to help reach out to the community, to reach out to local colleges, local high schools, getting people involved. There's a public policy committee. We're going to do a legislature report card, which I think is going to be really huge, telling people, hey, these are how your legislators are voting. And most of them have a really bad score. Let's be honest.
Yes.
There's going to be a lot more movement on Banish Big Brother. People are, we just had an Open Records Act request class on how to do them more effectively, how to get what you want, get the information that you really need so that you can be effective. If you haven't seen it, go find it. It's on Eventbrite, but I think we'll be releasing that as well, probably on our YouTube channel. But that's going to get some traction. It's really going to start picking up. Get involved in a local affiliate. That's where you're going to find your information. You can find that at lpgeorgia.com/affiliates. I would say those are the big things that we're looking at right now. We're going local. We're finding our issues. We're starting to build credibility at the local level so that our people can run for office. So if you're interested in that, you absolutely, absolutely have to get involved with an affiliate and then start talking to us. Send us an inquiry from our page. Send an email to info@lpgeorgia.com. We'll answer you. We'll find you a place to get involved. And again, you can passively watch all of these things. You can passively see the information getting pushed to you, or you can be a part of pushing that information out, right? Being the one that's actually doing the things that give us good news. So this is the opportunity. This is the chance. Get involved, find a place. And if you have an issue that you think is important, get on it. We'll help you. And we'll find a way to make that issue a top tier issue for us.
That's the key, man. The key is finding the topic that you're passionate about, because if you don't, you're going to get burned out and you're not going to want to do it.
Yeah.
I forget who was saying it. I was listening to some show the other day, but it may have been Ian Carroll on Joe Rogan.
Love it.
He was like, if you're getting into podcasting, for instance, you better freaking love podcasting, because it is an extremely difficult, time-consuming, low payoff kind of gig. And if you're not like passionate about it and it's not what you love to do, then you will burn out and it will not last very long and it will go poorly for you. And the same thing goes for fighting for any issue in politics. Like if you are not passionate about that issue, you're not going to do a good job and you will burn out over time. There may be a few people that don't, but the vast majority of people will they will stop fighting for that topic if they don't, if they're not passionate about it at all. And so, yeah, find what you're passionate about, figure out how to attack it and go from there. Because that's how Banish Big Brother got started. That's how Defend the Guard got started. Like Spike's organization, You Are the Power. That's how that got started. Like there are so many good examples of this, and all of them are making incredible strides and changes in different governments around the country, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that really is the key, right? Be passionate about it. There are plenty of things that we're all passionate about, right? Find the thing that just really gets under your skin, that you're not going to be able to rest until the thing that you can like rant about for hours. That's going to be the thing that you can testify in front of a state legislature about, right? That you can get a bill drafted for and then say, okay, look, I am all in on this and here's why. And then you get to take those rants that you bore your friends with and you get to take it in front of legislature, right? Like the committees and the whole group there. And then we get to clip it, right? When you get excited, when you get super stoked about whatever you're talking about or super angry, whatever it is, we get those clips, right? And then we take those clips and we amplify it. So it constantly, it's just a self-reinforcing loop. It's a virtuous cycle. And we really want to push that for the party. Find your thing, get excited about it, push it forward. And then as you move the ball down the court, we help you do it too. And then that builds your credibility. You're the next logical candidate to actually be like a candidate, right? Like a local candidate, the person that's going to say, yeah, this is my issue. I fought for property taxes in my local district. And yeah, I'm here's my reasoning for it. And then when people realize, oh yeah, you got to win on that. I actually kind of like you. Why don't you run for office? And then you have a team behind you of people who you built your list. You got the people that you think are going to support you, the people that are willing to knock doors for you. Mm-hmm. That's really what we're pushing for, right? Like that's, you'll hear some people say like, we're here to run candidates. And it's like, yes, but those candidates have to matter, right? Those candidates have to be important. And so that's been my, that'll be my hobby horse. My soapbox is find your issue and you'll find your candidacy, right? You find whatever you think is important and you're going to get credibility if you're well-spoken, if you're good at explaining it, and if you actually make sense when you're making your points. Mm-hmm. It's not that hard.
Nope.
So
100%, man. Yeah, absolutely. And me and Zane talked about this at convention. Like he's on my show, Liberty Libations, which is every Thursday night at 8 p.m. for anybody who wants to watch.
Please show up.
But like me and him and a few other guys have been on that show for over 2 years now. And like none of us were that good at public speaking or putting a thought together in a concise, powerful way. But being on, just talking about it with 4 other guys for 2 hours once a week, allowed all of us to get so much better at that skill. And so like just being around your friends, being around people who will actually debate or talk about the issue that you're passionate about is a really big thing and will help you prepare for, either running for office or managing a campaign or knocking on doors or what have you. So talk about it. You can't just sit there and write about it and think about it and all that kind of stuff. You got to discuss it and bounce ideas off with people.
So go to your LP affiliate meetings, show up and take your issue to them first. There you go. See, I love it.
Perfect. Well, Gerred, there are very few libertarians who actually want to be in positions of leadership. So tell me what you're least excited about for being chair again for the next year.
Oh man, there's a few things. I think the biggest thing is just making sure that things move forward. Yeah. And in a volunteer organization, sometimes things just don't, right? People get bored, people drop off. Sometimes you end up with just like, hey, I'm quitting. And that's just what it's got to be. And honestly, that is my least favorite, is seeing people burn out. I think my least favorite is seeing people step back because they pushed themselves too hard or didn't plan it out, right? The people who get the most stuff put on them are the people that start stepping up for things. And you're like, well, here's 10 other things that you should also be doing. Right. So I think that really honestly is the saddest part. And it's also the hardest part, because a lot of these people are doing important stuff. So it's hard to see people go.
Because then you got to replace them.
Yes. And then you have to replace them. And it starts getting harder and harder. But it is fascinating that you do see the other side of that, where new people step up. Like, hey, look, somebody stepped down. We need a new person to step up and do IT director, treasurer, right? We've had both of those positions have been filled again. And multiple people have stepped up for those kind of roles. And it's been cool to see, like, there's new talent, there's new people stepping up and saying, hey, I'm going to do whatever it takes to make this happen. So revolving door, but it's good to see new talent stepping up, and eventually those old folks that left, they're going to come back when they see things get really exciting it's kind of hard to resist. Like nobody's gone for good, right? We see people that have been in the party for 40 years, right? And it's because there's something about this, right? We believe in the philosophy. We believe in the party. We believe that it has potential. So we'll see him again every time.
Dude, it does happen quite a bit where people come back from the dead. So
yeah, for sure.
Well, man, I'm looking forward to seeing how LP Georgia grows and what y'all do for the next year. Sadly, I'll be gone for 2 months from now is my move out date. So in mid-June is when I'm heading out. So I got 2.5 more months of living here and doing the podcast, and then I'll do it from a mountain in Montana for a bit.
Which is beautiful. Let everyone be aware that it is beautiful up there.
It is beautiful. Gerred has been there. He can attest. I mean, his wife almost got mauled by a mountain lion, but other than that,
it was great. Other than that, everything was fine.
All right, Gerred, anything else before we head out?
No, just I will say it again and again. Get involved. If you're not, get to lpgeorgia.com. Check out what's going on. We're going to get as many of you people involved as possible. We're going to move forward with the party. If you want to find a way to get involved, get in touch with me, gerred.bell@lpgeorgia.com. Send me an email. I will answer it in due time. But yes, we will get in touch with you. We will get back with you. We want as many people as possible to be involved, and we really want to move the ball down the field.
Heck yeah. Well, man, stick around till after the credits. We'll chat for a second. Everybody else out there, thank y'all for watching the Free Georgia podcast. We'll see you next week. Peace.